Hello, I'm Vaughn, and I got top 8 during the Anchorage Regional playing Mitsurugi Ryzeal. Well, I decided to do it because, expecting some hand traps, and I was expecting more rogue matchups, and people haven't really read the Mitsurugi cards, because, one month into it, and people still haven't read into it, even though it's been, a couple of regionals and YCSs. So I decided to bring it along, besides Fiendsmith, Pierre. I just found this one better than the rest, and just get the basics down. We're just gonna do 3 Ice Ryzeal. This is your normal summon of the deck. We're usually adding this and special summoning it. We're respecting Droll here, so usually we want to do this first. Main problem I didn't like about the Fiendsmith, it gets cooked by Droll. Engraver, Attract, you get Drolled. Everyone's main decking Droll this format right now, or it should be. Came up a couple of times where I just Ice first and made my combo, then I got Drolled. Came up a lot. Then went down Node, the one of, this is usually what you're adding off of Duo Drive. 3X, because we're not, no rank 6. We're still getting the search most of the time. And we have playing Eclipse Twins, Aggregator, this breaks into boards. And because we're playing Mitsurugi Ryzeal, we don't care if we do this first. The extra deck lock does not matter. All our level 8s are in our main decks. Then we're doing 2 Sword. It's for space. It comes up a lot because the Mitsurugi package, it's slightly more bigger than the Fiendsmith package. So we need to cut this down, and with Cross, putting this back, usually you want to put these 2 back, or these 2, and it's good. We're playing 3 Bonfire. We're waiting for next month. This can be 7 Tachyon, because we don't care about the XYZ lock. Would make this way better, because sometimes you would just be stuck on Mitsurugi, or you really want to add the Mitsurugi to your hand to get the Omni Gate live, just so they can get the resource grind, but usually, this is fine for now. Then, we're going to go to the Mitsurugi package. It's very simple. We're going to decide to play 3 Prayers. This is your search target. You can even do Draw Phase, play around Joel, add either the Ritual, what you're missing, or add the Saji, which adds the Ritual spell. It gets the engine going. We decided to play 2 Saji instead of the Kusanagi and Night Sword package. Usually, from testing and from some advice, the Night Sword Serpent and Kusanagi doesn't really start your combos, and they're more garnets. And we're playing over 40 cards anyway. And don't worry, it does matter for the side deck pattern. I'll show it off later. It's usually, what we're doing is, we're going to play pure Ryzeal going second, cutting most of the, trimming this down. If we do our Molcharmies, we draw into them, and that can plus off. And these are the 2 rituals. These are our opponent, because on Cupid Summon, this adds a card, same thing as well. We're normally just summoning this, and just ritual summoning, tributing this from the deck. We're never actually going to be tributing twice or ritual summoning twice usually. It doesn't really come up that often because we're playing a low reptile package.
Did it ever come up that you ritual summon twice?
No, it never came up because we're cutting off the Sanji. We're playing 1 Sanji post side, so we don't have enough. Because usually in the normal column we play Kusanagi and Night Sword. You would ritual summon this, then you will ritual summon this from deck, sending the Kusanagi and the Night Sword, but we're not playing that package. So we're just using this as our level 8 target to send from deck. And we never summon this. It's beautiful. Never came up. We're just using it as a Cupid fodder because it pluses you. Then, we're going to go to a non-engine. We're going to play 3 Tactics. I think Tactics, it's really good this format because what I expected and was true is everyone's playing 2 hand traps. This baits out usually the Ryzeal package because it's such a big package and the Mitsurugi is small. The Ryzeal baits us out. Tactics look at hand. Or usually, worst case scenario, draw 2. And we're playing the Call By, misprint, and the Prosperity.
Why did you decide Called By over something like Crossout?
For Crossout, I saw more Crossout than I expected at the regional. But for me, Crossout, it only beats an engine. I was expecting more, non-engine. I was expecting more rogue matchups, but I faced a lot more Ryzeal than I expected. Even then, Crossout a Ryzeal name is not that good because they usually on Detonator, Duo Drive, no main deck Ryzeal Crossout. Because who's playing the trap main decking? Even though I saw it sometimes. Usually Crossout, it just hits like an Imperm. Or you're playing super greedily, playing Crossout Droll. But we should be playing through that anyway. And 3 Tactics just punishes that anyway. We're going to go into our hand traps. I decided to do Bestial package. Because from testing, from playing other Ryzeals, it's very hard to out a Light and Dark Chaos Angel. And I was expecting Fiendsmith too. This came up, saved me in the last round where I stop the Magma Hunt from hitting by Magma Hunting his own Lurie, and to save me again by, Magma Hunt again, Druid Swarm. Stop that if you're coming online, and I really appreciate every time these show up. Then playing a classic Ash Blossom.
Do you think Ash is worth it this format, or do you think it's too low impact?
It's just one of those things that you gotta play, but not really. It's like one of the things where I was expecting some rogue matchups too, like first round, I faced against Brandon, open Ash twice. I was like, okay. In worst case scenarios, if they duo drive, you can try to Ash it. It didn't work out, but like it either hits something, and really in a simplified game state, Ash is actually alright. Then I'm gonna go with 3 Droll. I expected a lot more Fiendsmith here, and I was right to call that. Like Droll on the engraver attract stops it, because usually for the Fiendsmith you want to Fiendsmith first, then do Ryzeal combo. If they open the engraver, they always do that first, then normal summon Ice. And so in my head I was like, okay, if they're gonna do that, we should just go main deck Droll anyway.
So do you think Droll was worth main decking over side decking?
Yeah, I think it was actually worth it. Like for me, Nibiru was too little impact. This was the original Nibiru, I swapped it out for Droll, because expecting more Fiendsmith and Fiendsmith Ryzeals, they just do the Caesar play. Even though you can Nibiru there, you actually thrust talent, which all the other cards do. But I was very mindful, even though I was played super greedily for no reason. I respect a lot from thrust. Thrust add talent. Even like it came up where I bestialed someone, they thrust added tracked, and I lost that game. We were trying to be minimal as possible and try to put monsters on board, because that's what people are expecting right now. They do thrust into D barrier. It's like, gotta respect it. And really, they have to just set cards for that to actually work, and it just gives you another turn to save. And for Fulos, it does conflict with the Droll. It has come up sometimes where against certain matchups you just gotta know. Like for example, it came up if you're playing Brandon, you should prioritize Droll first. And some matchups like really against Malice, you should always try to do this first. Because really if you do Droll against them, it just cuts them off non-engine. But if they're really greedy, they'll just play through Fulos anyway. Try to do their full combo of just locking you out, or just full comboing you. And this just stops them. You just have to know and just keep the other in hand just for next follow-up turn. Then we'd do 3 Imperm. Nothing to say about this. I think this is like one of the better hand traps. Like really, I would do Imperm, Ash Blossom, then the Bestials. These were my first 8 picks. Then Drolls came in, and I had room to main deck the Fulos, which I think you should main deck right now. With like so many Ryzeals, so many Malice. It's just, even if you're expecting like a small regional as this was, it came up, I faced like 4 Ryzeals. The times I drew it, it helped me a lot simplifying the game state where they just did Detonator Pass. And now we're going to go to the extra deck. It's simple enough where you get the idea where I was going with this. Instead of playing 2 duo drives, I decided to play 2 King of the Feral Imps. This card performed way better than I thought. Every time you see a Mitsurugi card, you should do this first. If you don't open it, I don't recommend it. Because if you do not open it, you have to do Dugar's lines, which is bad. We just want to do the standard Pure Lord Ryzeal lines, that we're doing these 2 Detonator, and 1 duo drive. We're playing 1 duo drive. It barely come up. It only came up once where I wish I had the second duo drive. But it was basically when Cross got removed, and basically all my twins got drained. But usually, this is enough.
How many times did you actually resolve Duo Drive?
We resolved it like 3 times. I know, right? 3 times.
Card has the biggest target on its back, doesn't it?
Then we're going to the generics that I just summoned for the love of the game. We have Castell. For the generics, I actually summoned this so many times to bait out a Detonator or Cross. They have to cross or force the Detonator out.
So if you had to pick between that or the Exo Sister?
For Sophia, I saw someone else playing it, but this shelf back face-up cards, so it does come up sometimes. I have never summoned this once, actually. A lot against my playtesting. I playtest a lot against White Forest, just because, small group. This came up a lot during testing. The real thing, it never came up. I just summoned Castell to try to shuffle back the Detonator or Cross. This is actually the MVP of just non-engine in general. I'm glad I actually put it in there. Dugaris, I have never used the draw effect or the special summon from Graveyard. I'm just playing till I just OTK them and hopefully they don't have anything to stop it. And usually they don't. And Abyss Dweller. I think a Bistrella is very important as well. Like, this card is an MVP sometimes, and against some matchup, you never summon it at all. I'm glad I put it in here, because against a Crystron player, we just summoned a Bistrella. Just blind making a Bistrella just made my life easier. Because every time I had blind, it was against a Ryzeal player, and they couldn't simplify the game state with X. Then we're playing 2 Eclipse Twins. Because we're not playing Fiendsmith, we actually have room for 2. So we're usually always saying the Eclipse Twins first, or the Aggregator. And we don't have to worry about wasting it, because we always have the second one. I never summoned this, I'm gonna be real. Literally next month, when 7th Tachyon, I'm gonna replace this with like a, was it the Lancia target, the Fairy, add Lancia, or play another number reptile monster at Mitsurugi combo. It just, every time I summoned it, in theory, simplify the game state. Because we're doing X first, I actually never got to summon this. Which is like...
I never summoned Zeus either.
Yeah, Zeus, like, those 2 cards, I think if you're playing those 2, I think it's bad. Like, literally, I was playing with a 14 card extra deck. I have never summoned this once. Like, oh my gosh. And the Aggregator, this is good for going second. We're doing this, helps a lot, breaks boards, and really, if you can't twins by shuffle, if you really want the shuffle draw 2, like shuffle 2, draw 1, we're setting this turn 1 just to get the negate. Because it did come up against like other decks where you just detonate attach resolution, because the turn player chain like 1, aggregator chain like 2. Then we're playing the Hagrid Lizard. I decided this over SP because unlike SP, this can get rid of itself and it draws you a card. And we're playing reptile monsters. We can just banish the Mitsurugi names and just make them 800 attack. Then get rid of it. Draw 1. And for the last card, there was Herald of Pure Light, but I decided to do Chaos Angel. If we were still playing the Heralds, we would probably just cut the Bystials, but I think playing Bystials was the right call, because I was expecting for my hardest matchups to be just Ryzeal and Fiendsmith Ryzeal. And this, in a simplified game state, they have to imperm or talent take this. And unlike other decks, we have other cards. We have Detonator, Cross, supporting this card. It's, like, it helps, like, literally wins games. And they have to, like, they know about this card, like, they have to hit the Jurisworm, Magma Hut, try to get rid of those cards so I can never summon this. And that's how I won some games too, where they Detonator pop my Jurisworm instead. Then they forced out the Cross with the Jurisworm.
So they're wasting all interactions on the Bystials?
Yeah, Bystials, they don't have an out to Chaos Angel in their hand, like, literally. Like, my last opponent was playing the Ryzeal Trap. It never came up. But he was probably saving it for this because it never resolved. Then, we're gonna go to a side deck. Really gonna make this really simple. We're doing the Charmies, 3 Meows, literally never came up. And we're doing the Pirellias. This one came up more often. So I was expecting a Ryzeal, Pirellia, Fuelos, and usually another set of board breakers. It was good enough. And for Meows and Lancia, fun story. I never side decked these, but you should still put these in here. They had like a couple of Malice, but they bought them because literally everyone was playing Lancia. I don't know what they were expecting. Now I'm going to throw out board breakers. I split this up into hand traps and board breakers. Mellotronus, this overperformed. Like, I was expecting like 2 Ryzeals, but I faced like 4 in this regional. And every time I saw this against Ryzeal, it won me the game. And for the last card, we're doing Ultimate Slayer. Like, this is very simple, going second. These are usually, I'm doing a set of hand traps and a set of board breakers. Like, for example, if I'm playing against pure Ryzeal, I'm either doing this against Fiendsmith. I might do this, and 8 at most. We're side decking 6 to 8 cards. The only way we're going across 8 if we're playing against Ryzeal itself. Because if we side more than 6, the ratio gets really messed up, and you don't really want to mess with that. And it's very important to not, also play normally. Like, who cares if we don't draw our side deck cards? With how we're siding, we have like 16 hand traps, 14. We're going to 17 or a set of board breakers for 25 non-engine. And for usually, I'll just tell you this because I hate it when deck profiles don't tell you what we're siding out. We're actually going to cut out most of the Mitsurugi card deck out. Like I said earlier, it's fine to play pure Ryzeal game 2. Because what I'm also doing is, I'm only playing actually no hard going first cards. it was a certain meta call that didn't work out that much, but for the games that worked out, you know how small regionals are, they realized I was making them go first. It didn't work out when some friends were talking about that. So literally, we're gonna cut these two, these three, that. Then we're gonna go for another. Do this. We're cutting, basically keeping the small package at most, and that's 5 cards. And of course, we're gonna cut the call by. This is what we're gonna side out most of the time. Like for how I'm planning this, I'm just gonna use the Melcharmies to draw into the rest of these. And if I do draw into them, I just go into King of the Pharaoh Imps, and then that baits it out. It helps go in second. Like really just for deck building, do this, that. Just put that in there. Then, against, like I said, for pure Ryzeal, we're always cutting out hand traps. Like pure Ryzeal, we're cutting these out, putting 8, putting these in. Against Fiendsmith, I hate to do it, we're cutting that out because we just need open hand traps to stop their turn play. And you can either do a Droll, even though it's good, or an Infirm. We're always signing out non-engine, never sign out main engine. You're gonna mess up the ratios and you're gonna prick a lot. Yeah, and that's basically it for right now. I'm happy how this performed. Like, if you were to play this deck, remove the Typhon, and really try to play out the Kusanagi and the Night Sword Serpent. I see some people still playing it, but you still get the rank 4. You still get a rank 4 with the Mitsurugi cards. I do think if you're gonna play Fiendsmith with this, you should play this. Alright? That's all for me, you know? You all have a good day, you know?